If she had only been ugly.
And,
Jamie, how are you today, my little flower?
I'm doing great, but you always have your cup of coffee, and usually you put some whiskey in it.
No, that's
Irish coffee.
Irish coffee. It's a clever invention by the Irish to keep you awake while you're high.
Yeah, but I understand it. But why do you put whipped cream in it? That's the only
Because,
thing.
Jamie, I'm trying to gain weight. I'm trying to get a little puffier, a little more bloated.
Yeah,
You don't understand that.
I understand.
My arteries are actually too wide open. The doctor told me I should eat more fat, bacon, especially during the middle of the night so I could sleep on it. I actually put bacon on the outside of my heart to absorb.
Now, you got a TV shows coming up.
Yes, I do.
October, you got to start shooting, hopefully, the Supreme Court of Comedy.
Hopefully.
Yes, yeah, but you're supposed to lose weight. What's going on with that?
I am losing weight as we speak. I'm on a diet that every 3 or 4 hours I break it, but it's pretty serious. I'm trying my best to lose weight, but I get very hungry at times, ravenous, and I need to eat.
What's ravenous? I never heard
Don't worry
of that
about
word.
it. I'm not going to start teaching you English now. It's going to take too long.
Okay,
I don't have time to guide you through this language. You've been here for 30 years.
Yeah, but excuse me,
how about picking
ravenous.
up
I never
an
heard of
adverb
ravenous.
How about a preposition? Did you ever hear of the article, something?
Okay, I heard there. I never heard ravenous. What's a ravenous meaning? Romantic or what is it?
No, well, it could be romantic, but it's, I'm hungry. I'm
Hungry. Okay, that's
Yeah, but
all you have to say.
now
Ravenous means hungry. Why do you have to be mean?
Can I make a segue, please? Can I make a segue?
This is your show.
Well, apparently it isn't. Apparently it's your show.
Excuse me. Well, I'm not saying anything. Whatever you want to do.
I want to bring up a friend of mine. He's in great shape. He's a terrific stand-up. I want to bring him up. He's not here today, but this next guy. Come on, giving you the business. Bret is one of my favorite comedians.
Yes.
Terrific guy.
Love the guy.
Has a lot of opinions, very strong opinions, misguided but committed. Bret Ernst, come on, Bret, come on up here. Yay, my man.
Brent,
my man.
how are you, buddy?
Fans, I just watched them for you.
Oh, good.
I'm
Oh,
going to stand because I heard you making fun of me on Burr's podcast, so I'll just stand the whole
I
time.
did?
Yeah.
I didn't make fun of you.
Well, no, you were breaking my balls.
What'd I say?
You're like, this guy's in great shape, Bret. He goes on stage, sits down right away.
Oh, yeah, that's not making funny.
I know. I'm making a joke. Don't
That's
worry.
a real.
I'm sitting down.
I couldn't believe it. I see him at the Comedy Store where, he goes much more than here. That's not my business.
Actually, I haven't been in town for a long time, man.
No, hey, I'm kidding.
He's trying to hurt me. You see?
Yeah.
He don't care.
No.
But I see him at the store. He's up for 2 minutes. He sits down. He's in like fucking athletic shape. He's going to do 15 minutes. So he had 14 minutes left.
Yeah. On the stool.
Oh, I got to get down.
Sometimes, you work hard for 15 minutes.
See how different the comedians are than when I started out? We had like these little nebbishy Jewish guys and talking about their mother. Now you got guys like
No, they're still around.
Yeah, but I mean, guys that could beat the shit out of you.
I seen him. He get in fights so many times in the club. One time he was a Persian guy or something.
No, it was up there. I remember.
Up there, yeah. The guy, the few friends. And he's actually, I'm saying, Bret, please, take it easy.
What happened was I did a joke, and I said something about Persians. Now, earlier I was, making fun of everything. I mean, first of all, and then they were laughing, and then the guy got mad about Persians or whatever it was, and then he's like, he goes, why don't you make fun of black people then? And I says, all right. No, he goes, why don't you say something about black people? I says, all right.
Was he black?
No, he was Persian. They were all Persians.
Yeah.
So I says, because I made fun of Persians, and they're like, like they're gonna get the audience on their side. And he's like, why don't you say something about black people? I says, all right. I go, you ever notice how black people are so much cooler than Persians, right? So then they started getting all riled up, and I remember, you were there, obviously. There's about a group of them. So I told them, I says, look, let me finish my act. I took all my money out of my pocket. I gave it to this girl that was in the front. I says, you hold this. And I says, after I'm done, here's the deal. You got to be quiet. And then after the show, I'm gonna smack the shit out of all fucking three of you. And then he started getting, and I told you.
Now that's comedy.
And I said,
You never stop.
wait, and then it gets worse.
You never stop writing.
So then I went upstairs right afterwards, and the whole audience was waiting. And then Brother Woods with Jamie's like, "Buddy, calm down." Then I'm like, "Yeah, now it's."
And actually, it was not 3 of them. He's saying 3. It was about 10 of them, and they're all standing outside waiting for him. And he's ready to go out there find them. I said,
You
"Brett."
do the same thing. You're as crazy as he is.
Yeah, but
And
not
not that
with
good a
10
shape.
people. Not with the 10 people, and I'm not as good a shape as he is. 10
But
people.
it's not like I'm Tommy Tough Guy. It's just the it's annoying when people use our time, whatever that may be, to try and take things, but especially if you're laughing at other things.
Right,
Like
right.
if you're offended throughout the whole show, you shouldn't
That's
be in a comedy
different,
show.
yeah.
But if you're laughing at stuff and then all of a sudden somebody touches on something that's personal to you and now you get offended, you're
Right.
a punk.
Yeah, I
You know?
did that in Texas once, and my girlfriend really bothered her because I bust everybody's chops, and this woman said, "I really don't like the stuff you did about women." And my girlfriend said, "Well, but what about the stuff he did about everybody else? What about the gay stuff and the Irish stuff and the Italian stuff? That didn't bother you?" She goes, "No, I thought that was funny." But it's the same thing you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it's like then and these guys were loud and just you could tell that they were, it wouldn't in the moment it wasn't. I don't do that anymore though.
You don't go up and fight 10 guys?
No, it's not that. It's just I don't get angry anymore. It's something that I used to. That was
Anger.
like 5 years ago.
Anger management.
That was before he started becoming successful.
Yeah, it was.
By the way, you might want to remind him that there is no Persia, by the way.
Yeah, it's all right.
There's no Persians.
It's all
No
right.
Persians. It's like saying my aunt's from Mesopotamia.
Yeah, those Samaritans. I
Yes.
tell you.
Oh, yeah. I knew a bad Samaritan. You're kidding.
No, that was it was the scariest night for me, Dom.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, but you talked me down. You were like, what are you doing? And it was more because it wasn't about the heckling. It was more about the go F yourself and F you, like the way they were talking to me. Like I was, like I'm like, what are you guys? What are you? Then it became something like that.
Maybe Michael Richards should have done that instead of what he did.
I was there. I was here that night. I
Remember?
pulled up late.
Were you didn't see it?
No, I was on at 12:40 or something.
Was there still a show after all
No, well, there was
No,
tried
no.
to be.
No, we tried, but everybody was standing outside getting their money back. I was giving everybody money back.
He came up to me.
Please don't sue me or burn my club.
No, I said to him, Jamie, I'm here. Why are you ending the show? And he's like, buddy,
Oh, boy.
the Kramer's dropping N-bombs on stage.
The Kramer.
And I said, what are you ending the show for? And then I'm like, really? And the first person I told was Joe Rogan because I went back to the store. And I said, Joe, apparently Kramer was dropping N-bombs. He's like, no. I says, yeah.
Dude.
And he's like, get out of here. But, I saw him. That was, because that happened on a Friday night, right?
No, Saturday night.
No, it was a Friday.
Friday
It was a
night, that's
Friday.
Friday.
Because Saturday we were.
Yeah.
This is a true story. This is exactly what he said.
Yeah.
Saturday night we were in the main room at the Comedy Store.
And he was there?
He came in. Now he came in like it was
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
Sebastian Maniscalco, and Freddie Lockhart, and we're sitting in the back. And he comes in, and,
Hey,
but no, and we used to see him around, but he never said anything to us. And now he started talking to us,
Yeah, all
and
of a
you knew
sudden.
like he was like trying to get a team together.
Yeah.
But he said something to me. He goes, I feel like everybody. Now I didn't see it, and the video wasn't released yet.
Oh no, the video release
Came
was,
on Monday or Tuesday,
no,
right?
No. It came in Saturday morning because of CNN. They called me. They said they want to interview him on Saturday, and I talked to him. He said, "I'll come in Saturday night. I'm going on the stage, apologize to everybody."
But that video didn't come out really because when he was
CNN, they had it.
'Cause when he-
CNN, they got it before.
because the reason why he
TMZ.
was in the main room on a Saturday night and we didn't see it yet. I had just heard about it. None of us had. We were talking about it.
So
but
when
then,
did he go on Letterman? It was that following
that was
Monday?
no, it was like on a Wednesday because I flew to Detroit on a Sunday. It was me, Tony Rock, Mike Young, and Sebastian. Well, anyways, I'll tell you what happened. So he came in and I said to him, he says, "Yeah, I feel like everybody's staring at me." And I says, "Yeah, what happened? I was supposed to go on that night." And he was very sincere. He goes, "Look, I see you kids work and you guys are real comics." He goes, "I'm more of a trained actor." Okay, and he said, and these guys were heckling me, and there's
Not a trained politician, by the way.
Oh yeah, not at all.
No.
But then he goes, these guys were heckling me, and there's this German shock playwright that does shock comedy that I was trying to channel, and I'm thinking the last people you want to channel for comedy are the goddamn Germans, right?
Oh, nobody makes you wheeze like those Germans.
Those guys are hysterical.
Don't get me wrong. The Danish are funny, but they're not Germans.
But this is exactly what he said, and he said that I was trying to shock the audience, and it backfired, and I didn't see it yet, and like an asshole, I go, don't worry, it'll probably blow over.
Yeah,
right?
it really blew over like Katrina.
But that Saturday, and if you know Sebastian, this makes it even funnier. That was Saturday night. Sunday we flew to Detroit. Monday morning on the front page of the paper was the story, and Sebastian's like, blow over. This guy's done. You know, because you know how Sebastian is.
Yeah.
And I didn't even see the extent of it. And then we saw the video, and I was like, God, Jesus.
Yeah, and I should explain to the audience what happened was he used the word nigger in a way that was really, a bad way, a hateful
Very
way.
hateful.
Instead of comedians can say it in some context where it's all right, and like we are a close knit group. I mean, because even the coloreds don't bother us. Am I right, guys?
No.
We're all one. We
No.
do get along
No.
we do get along well though. But I don't know.
The
People think about comedians.
Yes.
It's very
It's a
integrated.
very close
it's very
family.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
Very
it's
close
that Chappelle, what he said about that. What did he say? He goes, I found out I'm 20% black, 80% comedian when he was watching that. He goes, because part of me was like, damn, that's messed up what he's saying. But most of me's like, this dude's having a bad set.
yeah. Right.
Well, I mean, I'm paraphrasing that. I don't know. I probably butchered that, but it's along those lines. But as a comic, if you, I don't see how people get offended. Like, as a comedian,
I think because he did it in a certain way.
No, that I see.
Yeah,
That I see.
Yeah, and I had heard he had gone off on the Jews about a month before at the Improv.
Yeah.
In the same kind of tirade, and which was really weird because I watched a lot of that because I used to go on after him a lot to clean up the mess because I'm so strong, but. But I remember him like you could see how jealous he was of your generation guys. Do you know what I mean? Like he could see
how
you.
the 100 millionaire was jealous of us.
No, because he couldn't. It doesn't matter about the money. It matters about that he could not compete with you and Bill and Dove and all those guys that were coming up at that time. That were just starting to, we're always having strong sets. And he's up, and you could see this spiraling down of his set. He'd come up, he's Kramer. He gets a standing ovation. He bangs his head on the mic, he's still Kramer. He runs over to the door, he's screaming Kramer. He's still stumbling around, and gradually it started becoming Michael Richards. And you realize how unfucking funny Michael Richards is. And then he did one of the most dangerous things of all. He talked about religion in an unfunny way.
Yeah.
You almost get a little proselytizing, a little, and that was it was, and then he'd go off, and the audience would be like stunned and unhappy, and then whoever came up after him, and whoever was before him, they saw the difference in the levels, and I think he could never compete with Kramer. You know what I mean?
No, but you see the thing too, and you see this a lot, obviously, is the stand-up art form and the improv comedic actor. The comics that try to do stand-up that are comedic actors, it's a whole different beast. It's a whole different art form. And vice versa. There's a lot of guys that do stand-up that couldn't act their way out of a paper
But I
bag.
started out as an actor.
Well,
I did improv. I mean, that's...
yeah, but I'm saying there are comedians that can act. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there are a lot of people that underestimate the art form of stand-up.
They think because they're funny and
that they can do that, and vice versa. There
Yeah.
are comics that think that they can act and they get in there. And
yeah.
I've been on both sides of the camera, and I've
Yeah.
seen comics come in that you think, and they're just
Oh, yeah. And I've got
Yeah,
news
they're
for you,
atrocious.
man. None of the people on Seinfeld were nearly as witty as Larry David, who put the words in their mouth. They were great actors, but everybody thinks, Jason Alexander, who's a great guy and great actor, Jason on his own on stage is not he doesn't think he is either. But Michael was one of those guys that kind of
he
like
said
Larry.
he even told, he said, I started in improv, and this was something that he was trying to do. And, look, either way.
But
you
I
know.
think it's to a point that sometimes whatever you do on the stage is like your your what they call
Bathtub.
it? Bathtub is
Just
your
say words. He doesn't know.
It's like Mad Libs.
No, no. The church for preachers. What do you call it?
A pulpit.
Something start with S. I don't know the word.
English lessons.
Sanctuary.
A sanctuary. The stage for comedian is
You
a
are.
sanctuary. Is they
I'm
can
out.
say whatever they want.
Yeah.
But sometimes it comes with a hatred. Is a hatred. That's where you're hurting people. I mean, I seen all of comedians from Sam Kinison to you name them. They gone crazy in audience. They gone different thing. They done all kind of stuff on the stage. But none of them came with a hatred.
Because there's a certain likability, even through the
go ahead.
meanness. I mean, that's what always fascinates me about like Gandolfini in The Sopranos. Such a scumbag, but there was something about him that people found charming.
Well, I think it's commitment to who you are, and there is a difference between hatred and anger.
Yeah.
You could be angry at something and not be hatred.
That really
Exactly.
fucking pisses me off that you would say that.
You know what, Tom? Go fuck yourself.
Fuck you, I hate you. No, I'm not. I'm angry. I got confused.
Now, like what happened that night?
Yeah.
It wasn't so much
Anger.
It was anger, but it was more the way they were talking, and then a lot of times as a comic, especially if you come from a certain background or a certain upbringing, that you learn to I mean, I was 29 when that happened. I mean, that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
man.
it was a few years ago.
Yeah, and you grow as an adult, as an artist. Now if somebody mouths off to me, I'm like, yeah, whatever. But because I own things now.
Yeah.
When you're still that punk kid or whatever, and you're trying to transit, and then they're talking to you like if you were outside, you would drop them for the things, and it had nothing to do more about the show now, which I've you learn from that. But the point I was making, which was very long-winded,
roundabout,
is that
I'm
you're right.
landing in.
You're right about this being. It is. But at the same time, like what happened with Cat Williams in Arizona, and then
What happened? I don't know that.
Some Mexican dude yelled out "fuck America," and he said "fuck you," and then it got into this whole thing, and he made some. I saw the.
Two writers going at it, huh?
Well, I saw.
Hey, fuck you.
But no, and he pretty much defended America. Did you see that? Did you guys see that?
Yeah.
And then the interview on CNN, when they were trying to get him to apologize, he pretty much said, no. As a comic, we're paid for our unfiltered thought.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you'll say things out, you put things out there that you're working, because we write on stage, and especially in these types of forums, like I don't work out when I'm on the road. You know what I mean? And that's what makes LA and New York so unique, is that you're working out, but yet you want to bring your A game, but yet,
Right.
And
when they say it's a gymnasium, maybe for people who've been around for a long time, but you try making it a gymnasium as a young comic,
you can't.
You won't get any spots.
You won't get any spots. No,
You're
it's
right.
true.
Yeah.
It's true. You can't.
You're just getting thrown out of the gym, pal.
No, you're not getting spotted. No, because when you're young and you come up, like when I came here, every time you're young and up and coming, that you have to bring your A game, because you're constantly introducing yourself to people that don't know you. But once people start to know you, and it either it coincides, and you start to get more comfortable on stage.
Then you're allowed to fail a little.
A little bit.
Yeah. You still want to be strong, because let's face it, this club has probably the strongest lineups of any club.
Yeah.
Because there's fewer acts. Jamie, sucking the blood out of all of us. All due respect, Jamie. No, but I mean, we have, it's 25-minute spots instead of 15-minute spots.
Excuse me, is 15 and 20 is not 25.
Well, it seems like 25
No,
when I'm
maybe,
up there.
maybe to you, maybe to you.
Maybe it's just that I'm not that
And it's
good.
9 minutes.
No,
and it's
no.
9 minutes depending on what big celeb wants to go up.
Right.
You
Yes,
get the light,
sometimes
you're like,
yes.
all right, gotta go.
Yes, but I gotta say, even the night you were here, you were getting upset from Persian people upstairs, Iranian people upstairs. You said something from anger. Nothing came. I was watching you.
It wasn't hateful.
Nothing coming hateful. Nothing came out of hateful.
You know why?
But
Because
if
it
you-
wasn't about the ethnicity so much as about a man trying to talk to another man, like, especially a dude that because dudes that have been around, you could see guys that have been around. Those guys had not been around.
I
They
understand.
were spoiled rich kids, and they were running their
Yeah,
mouth.
but you could have been going through the
They were
hatred.
fucking pussies, man.
They were punk.
No, but you didn't go to hatred. That's the whole thing. But Michael, this thing happened. That's the first time after 30 something years I actually felt like I have to give the people their money back.
Oh, with Michael Richards.
Yeah, because it was hatred in it.
What'd you do after Bret? Just give him free tickets to come back? Twofers?
Nah, they were on, the crowd was, everybody was on my side.
No, everybody, no, that's true. Everybody was on his side, you know, and
Can I ask him a question?
Yes.
And I just want to get there, and I want you to be dead serious
all
with me.
right.
Where do you rank yourself, not amongst comedians as strong and funny, as far as like toughness? Where would you think you are? Start.
Well, all right.
We'll start with Rogan.
No, that ain't happening.
No. We'll say Rogan's the toughest, right?
Yeah, Rogan would be the toughest.
And then after that,
I don't.
Well, Alonzo's pretty big.
Look,
I just want to know because
here's what
I want to
learned.
file this information
Here's
for the
what
comedy
I learned.
community.
First of all, I'm not. It depends on your definition. Now, I learned growing up that I wasn't afraid of anything, but you don't have to be scared to get your ass kicked.
Right.
You understand?
Mike Young says hello.
No, yeah. Oh, good. No, I'm saying is that one has nothing to do with the other. I've had my ass beat many a times. But I've never. It comes to a point to where
I was never beaten.
I've had my ass kicked, but I've been jumped a lot.
I ran like a little bitch many times.
But
because I get in those types of situations where
you don't get in them anymore, do you?
No, I haven't.
No, but he get to a point of you realize all of a sudden these people, if you hit them or touch them, that you have some belonging. Like Bret, I'm sure he have a car, house, whatever he have. He's going to think about it twice because he could be sued. Everything could take away from him.
He has a houseboat. Actually, he lives in.
I do. I solve mysteries too. I live in the marina. I have a houseboat and a crocodile. I don't rank. I think that's. It's a tough. There's no way you could tell. Let me tell you something.
I love the fact that you would answer me seriously. That's what I love about you. That you really.
Well, you said to answer you seriously.
I know, but
I could have went 10 ways with this.
Here's what I think. Where I would rank myself, I would think. I think I could beat up Argus Hamilton, and I'm trying. Let me see. I think.
What about Dice?
Natasha Leggero.
Dice
you could
is
beat
too
up.
big for
you could
me.
beat up Natasha.
I don't know if I could beat Natasha.
No, Natasha
She's pretty
might take
quick.
you. Yeah, you're right. She's got good speed.
But I got to tell you a story about Dom. Dom, he have another side of him. One time he was working as a valet parking in New York. Mm-hmm. A guy come and give him a hard time. He have a brand new BMW. And he told him, it's something, the owner of the place, he started
He threw his keys at me like I was a dog, and he goes, warm up my car. I go, I'll fucking warm my car up. So I get in, I lock the doors, and I just fucking floored it. You know what that sounds like on a brand new engine? Like, woo, woo.
Yeah.
And he says to me, he goes, what the fuck you doing? I says, I told you not to holler at me. He said, what were you doing? I said, I was warming up your car. And he goes, you're fired. I go, no shit. I said, Buzz, take a shot at me. You got $1 million. I got nothing. Come on.
Yeah.
But anyway.
And throw the chairs to over there.
Well, the fucking I'm sure you had as bad a temper as I did. And I got mostly in fights in sports. I didn't get in fights on the street. But this guy says he would, I used to park cars in the river. A very good job because it was before they start taking account of what you're made on tips. So I would have like suitcases full of ones, like I robbed a dollar store.
Give me all your singles now.
Put that big bill away. It confuses me.
You're robbing strippers as they're coming out.
Give me
all the singles now.
Here. But one night he comes in, he goes, and I said, Buzz, just fire me. Don't holler at me. I went to Catholic school and I like getting hollered at. And he goes, all right. We were fine for a while. Then he comes in and hollers at me about some shit. And he had these chairs he got from Paris, which were, like $200. This was like 1980, right? 1979. And I go, all right. So I throw one in the fucking East River, and I'm fucking fuming. Then I grab one another, throw it in the East River. Then I run by, and I realized it was low tide. And they're just sitting there facing each other like two ghosts playing pinochle. Oh, fuck. But I've seen you evolve as far as, like, calming down and getting more zen. Do you smoke pot?
Never in my life, never tried it.
Because
nothing.
Joe, Rogan we're talking about, I've never seen pot help somebody like him. Because you had much more of an aggressiveness to you when you started out. Not that you were aggressive against us, but I mean, I could feel you.
But it's a lot of. It's like I would say that the one thing that if I could point at if I had any like real downfall, it was anger. I had a
But you
lot of
came
anger.
from. You told me the story with your dad and.
I mean, that's a bunch of stuff. You know,
Yeah.
when you grow up, you always have everybody, and that's the thing is nobody's unique from it. Everybody has problems. I just think with age, you know, you start to get rid of it more, and it's just part of growing. Like I read somewhere, you know, if you're the same person you were 10 years ago, you're not doing it right. Same thing as a comic. Like if you see a comic doing the same act he did 10 years ago, you're not a good comic. Same thing as a person.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that like religion, sexual preference, all that shit is, I never even would get in anybody's like face about that.
What is your sexual preference?
I like, I don't know.
I like cowboys.
I like angry Persian boys. No, but your politics and your sports team, then I'm in your face. And that could be obnoxious after a while, you know, especially, you know how Italians are. All we do is argue. But you'll see a family out to dinner, you think they hate each other.
But he loves to argue politics.
And sports mostly.
What's your favorite sports team?
Which in overall?
Football.
Cowboys, die hard.
Really?
Yeah, from day one.
What's wrong with you?
You know what? When I did beer
The
league.
Star. It was the Star, wasn't it?
No, this is a true story. When I did beer league, okay, I did like I had a little small part in it, but I read for like two of the big roles. I was up for one of the big roles, and then Artie was like, he's like, yo, you know, I'll throw you this. And I flew myself out there to even do it. And we were all talking, and the bad guy in the movie is a Dallas Cowboy fan who grew up in New Jersey, right? And I jokingly said, you know, I'm a Cowboy fan. His face was just went. He goes, if I'd have known that, I would never given you anything.
Who said this?
Artie Lang.
Oh, really?
You know, because he hates the
What's
Cowboys.
he, Jets?
Giants.
Oh, Giants.
So we were joking around, and I told him why I'm a Cowboy fan. He said, that's the best reason I've ever heard. And
What's the reason?
little kid, my dad is rooting for the Cowboys. You know, always rooted for the Cowboys. And then shit happens. Parents go their separate way. I studied the Cowboys because I figured that'd be our thing. I'd call him all the time. Hey, we just drafted Jim Jeffcoat. He's like, good for you. Put your mother on, right? So Dallas loses to the Niners. I'm just a little kid. And the first time with the catch, I call him up.
Oh,
crying.
that game.
I says, Dad, listen, we lost. He's like, why do you keep telling me about the Cowboys? And I'm like, you know, that's our team. He's like, I don't give a shit about Dallas. I don't care about any team. He had money on the game.
Yeah, that's right. That's my team too. The one I bet on.
Yeah, well, that's how he was.
Oh.
But because the Cowboys were on TV all the time back then, and and I thought he was a Cowboy fan. I was too little to understand he was gambling.
Oh, because
and I put
gambling,
so
right.
much into it.
Yeah.
My family is
that's
actually
interesting.
And I just
split.
stuck with the Cowboys.
My family is split between Cowboy fans and Eagles fans. Now, it's 3/4 Eagles fans, but at Thanksgiving dinner, it's become like it was a big thing. When my cousin Joey was in 7th grade, like 6th grade, so he was fucking crying because the Cowboys lost. And I start telling him, you know, I tried to explain to him sports that these guys are hired hands, that they're not really from Dallas.
Yeah,
that
they're
there's no, it's like, you know, they can get traded to the Eagles next year. You'll be rooting for them. He didn't get it. Now he gets it, but
Yeah, well,
but it's embedded in them now.
There's certain guys, like, again, as you get older, like, I don't have any football jersey with anybody's name on my back. It ain't going to happen.
I had a football
I
jersey.
can't have a kid's name on my back. You know what I mean? Like, as a man sweating another man like that, it ain't gonna happen. Now, if I was, I would have a name like Joe DiMaggio, somebody my grandfather, or even somebody that was old enough to be my father, like, you know, Tony Dorsett or something like that as a kid. But I can't put a kid that's 27, 25 years old on my back as a grown man.
I remember when he
It's
was Tony
embarrassing.
Dorsett, and
Oh,
then
yeah?
it changed to Dorsett for no reason. You know, I was doing this show called Offsides on the.
I saw that on NFL, not on ESPN, right? It was like
No,
for
it was
NFL
on-
Films.
It was on Comedy
Comedy
Central.
Central, yeah.
And then it went to NFL Films. They edited a lot of it. That still
I
comes
forgot
on
about
sometimes.
that. Yeah.
And this is how fucking stupid people are. I was on radio in Philadelphia, sports radio on Thanksgiving. I do the show every year. And this guy goes, hey, what's that?
You turn it off. I'm sorry.
Very unprofessional.
I'm sorry. I forgot.
And it's your place. It's
I
your-
understand. I just
No, it's just-
Don't worry
put the
about it.
phone,
Don't worry
put the
about it.
phone there. I
Yes, the
forgot
phone's
it.
off.
I forgot.
Yeah.
You know,
You
it's
didn't
for
see the
me.
phone on when Jeremy was here.
Yeah. They stick together.
The Jews,
The
oh.
Jews, they stick together.
The Persians.
Be nice. Why do you have to pick on me? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Finish your story.
I'm on radio,
Yeah.
and I did this show, and wherever we went, we wore their jersey. You know, just out of courtesy, they would give us a jersey, wherever it was, Green Bay, Pittsburgh. So I have the Cowboys jersey on, and this guy he calls up, and he goes to this guy, Angelo Cataldi, the host of the show, he goes, your boy Dom Irrera is a closet Cowboy fan. I saw him on television. I go, how fucking big a closet is that if I'm on television, you idiot? I said, we just wore their jerseys. Like, he caught me.
Hey, I got to
He caught
tell
me
you
on
guys.
national television.
That's a big deal, though, in Philly. You can get killed for that.
Yeah, but I mean, they know that I'm with the Cowboy cheerleaders, and I'm dancing with them and fucking around in their locker room. I'm thinking most of my friends will go, "Hey, fuck the teams. That's dumb," with
It's
the cheerleaders.
Yeah, that'd be a normal way to think. But let me tell you, it's easy being a Cowboy fan in Dallas. Try being a Cowboy fan in the Vet, or even worse, in Giant Stadium. You've got people just trying to kill you as a kid.
Well, where'd you grow up?
Oh, I grew up in North Jersey. Well, I was born in Jersey, moved to Florida. Jersey, West Virginia, Florida, back to Jersey, back to Florida, back to Jersey. I went to 15 different schools.
Was your father in the service?
No.
Maybe I shouldn't ask.
No. It was just my mom. She was a single mom, so we moved around a lot wherever we could, And but sports was everything to me. I played football. I played like Division 8.
The thing happened. We had a
Kids in wheelchairs.
I played rollerball.
not changing the subject. We had a Ahmad. We had him in Chicago. Ahmad. We had him in Chicago, Laugh Factory, and the guys they come in, all of them, they were talking about. They saw you with Vince Vaughn, the show, and when we bring you back to the Chicago because you were on that show. How did you get that show? How did that come about?
The Vince Vaughn thing actually came about from Dublin's. Because remember, Ahmed and Jay Davis had that show every Tuesday night.
That's right.
What was great about that show, especially as a kid coming up, because it took. I got in a Comedy Store in 2000, and it took me almost 5.5, 6 years to get in here, and then to constantly get spots. I think you passed me maybe 4 or 5 years in.
Yeah.
I did the whole standing in line thing.
Did you really?
Yeah.
That's the reason he went and got them coffee for everybody. He's such a good guy. He went and got all of the people
my
online.
boy.
He got
because I've been there, man.
I never been there.
Yeah, I did. Well, I mean, I don't know if you did that all the time, which, by the way, when you're an open micer, first time I met you, I didn't know what to think. Because I went to shake your hand, and you says, I don't shake hands.
I just did that.
Yeah, you did that.
Yeah,
Well, you were on the Howie Mandel German?
No, and let me defend you on this.
Go ahead.
So, and I remember that happened, and I'm sitting there, and I just got to L.A., and I'm thinking, this guy, he didn't shake my hand. And I'm thinking, oh, motherfucker, yeah. And he's critiquing my act, and he's sitting there, and he's saying good things, and we were saying, you come back in 4 weeks. That's all Jamie would tell you, come back in 4 weeks. So it becomes like kung fu, when you have to wait out front.
Right.
Then waiting in line, I saw what was in line with me sometimes. And then I'm like, that's why this guy doesn't shake hands.
Like extras.
Because you don't know.
Like extras from the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Dude, you got homeless people, crazy people. I mean, it's a lot of shit to weed through.
This is his staff, folks.
And then you were the only one that actually paid attention. That would pay attention to that I know. I mean, Mitzi would watch you.
Mitzi did back in the day.
But she didn't give you the feedback. You know? And then you're like...
I've been doing it 30 years, and Dom is always picking on me. We said, no, you don't give it attention to comedian. Always open micers. Everyone, the time I'm in here, they get 2-3 minutes of my time, 5 minutes.
You treat them like slaves, Jamie.
Well, I
treat
just...
them like they're not real people.
From
I don't
coming,
go for that.
Then he made me paint his house.
You,
Did I ever tell you that story? He made
me
me paint his house for 3...
He?
Yeah. I had to do his lawn. No.
I had to rinse out his soiled panties.
No. He killed a hooker one night. I had to get rid of the body.
Oh, those are the days.
All for 5 minutes on a Tuesday. No.
I got to tell you something. One time we had a Thanksgiving dinner for homeless. Mm-hmm. And Fraser
That's
came
my
in.
crowd, the homeless.
Yes. They love Dom, by the way. And you've done it many times yourself. And they came in. We have Fraser, he said, I have a friend of mine. He's a security. I said, we don't need a security in here. He said, no, this security guy is really good. He's my friend. He want to give back to the community. No, Alonzo wasn't. No, this guy, I said, okay. He was his friend. Anyway, the guy comes in, and we are serving people. I'm looking outside. I see the guy, this poor homeless, punched him in the face. The guy gone down. He's bleeding from his mouth.
The homeless guy punched him, or he punched the homeless guy?
Friend of Fraser punching this guy, us Fraser. And I said, Fraser, who is that? I'll run outside. And I see this poor guy, he's bleeding from his teeth. I said, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened. What's happening? Come on. I tried to pick him up, and I picked him up. I put him on a chair. I said, let's go take you to the doctor. He said, no, it's okay. It's nothing. It's my lip. It's okay. I said, you sure? I take you to the doctor. I'll leave everything right now. Take you to the doctor. He said, no. Can you just give me 3 minutes time? I swear to God.
3 minutes. Well, remember the Christmas one?
Just give me 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Do everything else.
Yeah.
I ever tell you this about the Nicaragua thing? No. I'm up on stage. It's Christmas morning.
Yes.
Right? It was probably the first show at 11 o'clock.
Yes.
Well, I usually don't kick in till 11:30, 12 o'clock.
We know that.
And I'm on stage, and it's really hard to make references to homeless people because you can't talk about travel, you can't talk about homes, for instance. So
overachieving, bathing, shoes.
But I'm talking. You can't talk about odors,
Haircuts,
cars. You can't even talk about skateboards. Anyway, so
I'm sleeping under this bridge.
don't you hate that? I feel like a troll, right? But
And these 3 billy goats. All right, go ahead. Sorry, man.
no, it's. I said to this guy, he had like camouflage outfit on. He was a tall black guy, and he had a hat. And I said, he looked like a rebel from Nicaragua. That's a Sandinistan rebel from Nicaragua, whatever was going on at the time. So he comes up to me after the show, and he goes, listen, brother, he says, you were really funny, but, you didn't have to call me a nigger like that. I said, what? He said, about my hat being a nigger hat. I go, I was talking about Nicaragua. I said, it's a country in Central America. I said, do you think I would wake up on Christmas morning to go, who can I hurt today? Yeah. You know what I mean? I said, I'm glad you told me that, because you would have held that in your heart forever. And it had nothing to do with race. I'm just trying to get by. And then, but talk about, imagine people that walk out of here on a night when they totally misunderstand one of us like that. And they think, how could
it happens all the time, man. And I'll tell you, though, that's what's making me nervous. Getting back to what originally we were talking about is these people that are trying to come into comedy clubs and censor or hold people accountable. This is the freest form of free speech there is. I mean, you get no more than this.
Yes.
As long as you're funny.
As long as you're funny. No, that's true.
What do they call it? Fifth Amendment?
First Amendment. That's the
Fifth
very
Amendment
first
is when
one.
you don't want to talk because Joey DeLupa tipped you under the table.
That's Fifth Amendment.
I'm taking the fifth. You don't want to use your right.
Dimension.
Fifth Dimension.
This is the dying. No, the aim.
Would you like to ride?
No.
Go ahead. Finish your story, buddy.
No, it's not really. It's just a point.
I mean,
that people are if you're sensitive, stay the fuck home. Just stay home.
Yeah.
If you have a political agenda, stay the fuck home.
How dare you say that?
I mean, no, it's part of what he's saying. I got to agree with him because a lot of people, they come in the club. I mean, I had one night, I'm talking about a few months ago, maybe before Christmas was, a guy came in with his girlfriend and he was coming, a comedian went up, I can't remember, who was making fun of all of the fat and obese people because he saw losing the show called on NBC called Losers or
Biggest
something.
Loser.
Biggest Losers, yeah. And he was really offended. He said, this is really prejudice against fat people, against us,
God.
and that. I said, he said, what do you want him to call them? Don't call them fat people. I said, no, big and beautiful.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's actually a fetish. I had that magazine once. Big butt.
I mean, the guy was so. I mean, you get so many people. They are now. You can't call people. You got to call midget. You can't call them.
Well, some people just have to have a different name for it. It's like flight attendant and stewardess. I don't find anything offensive about stewardess. I told you that I was doing this club at Yale. It's close as I ever got to Yale.
To Ivy League.
And I think I might have told you this.
Yes.
About this woman says to me she was offended about all my Italian stuff. How do you have the right to put Italians down like that? This whole thing. I go, well, I'm 100% Italian. She goes, oh, I thought you were Jewish. That's all right now.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing with you get the anti-Semite thrown out there too when it's like, come on, man, really?
Yeah.
I don't really do that type of humor though.
No, but
it's not my style. I mean, not that I have anything against it. It's not. But when you start labeling comedians as falling into either being, against Italians, anti-Semitic, racist. How do you get the balls, misogynistic? Like, how do you get the balls to fucking say that about somebody that is just trying to make the world laugh? And I get it if it's funny. I look, we've all seen those comedians that are shocking you, and it's just shock, and you're like, but they don't work. We're talking about working guys like that are stand-up comedians, women that are
Mm.
comedians. That if something comes out of their mouth, and this is how they make their living, and they're good at it.
Yeah.
Who are you to say? And do that, and you're finding these extremes, man. The right wing and the left wing are ruining comedy. They're ruining. Liberals and conservatives are the same thing.
I think one thing is happening.
Liberals are just conservative liberals. They're conservative in their point of view. Like in San Francisco is one city you go to, and they say they're liberal, but they're totally unbending.
They're not. Yeah. They're not
just
liberal
as
at all.
unbending as the people that they think are rednecks in Alabama.
Exactly.
Just a different.
That's 100% my point. That's and as comics, again, we're probably the most liberal people you'll ever meet.
Yeah, but I think one thing is happening is the people they used to have a tremendous respect for comedian, for everything. That's the reason I always go on a radio show, all of that stuff. I start telling the people they interview me, I always said, do not say comic around me anymore. They say, why? I said, I want to put another name on it, because first was gesture, then it was comic. Now I call all of the comic the doctor of the soul, because they come in here like a doctor. They make people laugh for 2 hours. That's a gift God gives to many people. And you realize this is something I'm preaching to Dom. I talked to Dom about it. In the
about
whole
being funnier?
Huh?
Talk to me about being funnier.
Be funnier.
Yeah.
And
he says, I like what you do, but could you up the talent level a little?
Well, let me finish. In the whole world, if you realize we have 7 billion people, you know how many good comedians there are out there? Every 100 million people, one good comedian. And these people, they are rarest form of art in the world it is, and the people, they don't appreciate it. Every time they see a comedian, I get upset. Oh, tell me a joke, tell me that. They don't have respect for comedians.
Well, they don't a lot of times. I mean, again, it's almost like in the movie Amadeus when Salieri was listening to him perform, and people that have an ear for it can really hear like the genius in a guy like Bill Burr. Or Rogan, to me, is unbelievable. I'm not just saying that because he's my friend. I some of the shit.
I don't like either one of those guys.
Yeah.
I like both. I love both of them.
Well, me too, Jamie. I'm kidding.
But the point is, as comics,
Comedy.
you could hear the genius in it, and it's not so much there's look at me and dancing around. There's a lot of thought and a lot of dimensions or layers to a bit that maybe some people can't understand or hear that we can. And the good thing about comedy, I think, is the ability to make everybody realize, and this is what I always say, that we're all the same. Whenever you do a bit, like you write a joke and everybody's laughing, that means they've all either experienced it, and it lets everybody know we're all the same.
And it's pretty remarkable that you can go to Ireland or New Zealand and get a laugh at a joke that this kid from Jersey wrote, and that somehow humankind, not to get sappy, but relates to it.
No, because to me, comedy's about relationships, and it's about situations, and whether
relationships and how many you fucked up in your life,
and really about the dysfunction. That's what bothers me. If you're a comic, you're talking about what you know and who you are if you're doing it right. And everybody should be able to tell their story, good or bad, regardless of what groups of people came in and out of your life, with it just being uncensored and without, people just enjoying it for what it is. Did you ever see a video of the violinist?
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah,
in the subway?
Yeah.
They took the world's top violinist, like considered the best, and let him play in a subway. And the amount of people...
Like Isaac, what's his name? Isaac Stern?
I don't know who it was.
No, it wasn't Isaac Stern. Yeah, go ahead, go finish it. Yeah.
But he was playing, and people just walked by as if they didn't realize that they're listening to the greatest violinist considered of all time.
Because it was in a subway.
How do you think I feel when I play this club?
Hello.
Right? That was great, man. That was good. Dom, you're good. You should get into comedy.
Oh no, it's for you guys. I'll let you. I passed the baton on a long time ago.
Leave it for the kids. But you saw that, and people didn't know what they were listening to.
No,
And that's just interesting.
And you can't get mad at the people for that, because let me tell you something. If there's a mechanic in the show, or that's watching the show, and say they don't get a bit or they don't understand it, it would be like them getting mad at me for me opening a hood and going, I don't know what the fuck's going on here. You know, everybody has different ears. And
yeah, but I think the laughter is such an international language it is, and making people laugh and smile in one way or another way. I seen a person coming in the stage that did not speak one word English. It was from Japan, but still made people laugh with his gesture. First time I started.
Wait a minute. He came up with stage and he did his act in Japanese, and they were laughing?
Yeah. I mean, first time I went.
I find it's a little hard to believe.
No. Excuse me.
I love that. What did he say? I don't know.
Probably going,
wait.
This fucking guy, I feel so bad for him.
No. First time I started comedy, I went to the store. Mitzi passed me. I went on the stage. She knows. I went on the stage, and the time I was on the stage, first time I got on the stage, I was so nervous. A spotlight hit me. I never been on the stage. I started shaking, and I forgot. I started speaking Farsi and a couple of words of Hebrew. You know, and people.
I hate when I do that.
After a few minutes, the people they start laughing. It's because of you believe in it. Right. You really committed to what you're doing, trying to make people laugh. Is really, that's all it is about to me.
I love your act in Hebrew.
You don't like it?
Yeah.
All right.
Much better than Yiddish or Farsi.
Okay.
You speak Yiddish?
No, a couple of words. You know, like Mishugana or something like that. Little couple of words. Chutzpah, yes. You know.
What I got a question is, and this is really, if you think about how remarkable, how many national scandals like Jamie's been interviewed for. It's amazing. Michael Jackson, Kramer, or Michael Richards.
Press than any of us.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like I'm like, Jamie, do you know? People would say, you know, Jamie Masada is like, yeah, he's on Laugh Factory.
Yeah, he's on
talking about
television.
Michael Jackson, the whole Michael Jackson thing. Right now.
You know, again,
he sent the kid innocently.
I know.
He was the one. He was the pimp in the Michael Jackson thing.
Stop.
But for want of a better word.
I think no matter what you do, Bret, always good deed gone. I'm learning in the late days. Is no good deed gone without punishment. You know, I did Michael Jackson. The kid was dying. I called Quincy Jones. I need Michael Jackson number. I got Adam Sandler, Chris Tucker, Jay Leno, everybody.
You do. Let me tell you, you do and I know you don't like to hear this, but you do a lot of charity work.
Well,
you do a lot of. You do a lot.
We try. You know, because most of the. I mean, I got to tell you that. I learned all of that because it's part of me, because being a comedian, being around comic, because comedian, they're most giving people in the world. If you're looking at every charity, some comedian performing there for nothing, or doing MCing for nothing, or doing something.
It's a lot of power. It's a great thing because I don't have I don't know about how your makeup is for this, but I love the fact that we can make a lot of money for charities. And like we did this thing with Dennis Leary in it's called Stand Up Comics in Boston. It was where BU plays hockey, maybe 10,000 people. We made millions, and I don't have the character or the whatever it is inside a person that can go to an emergency room, be an emergency room doctor. I can't go see little kids with cancer in hospitals. I can't handle it. So to me, it's like I love that I have some power to generate money. You know what I mean?
That is one of the hardest things, man, to deal with that type of stuff.
Mr. Fucking Italian wise guy, I'd be breaking down like a little washerwoman.
It's the hardest thing to go to a hospital to watch, but at the same time,
you can do it.
Yeah, but I do it because I don't have no choice. I see this kid from comedy camp, they get sick or something. The only person called is me, and they have no mom, no dad. What do I do? But you guys,
you said it to Michael Jackson.
No, yes, sure. Okay, all right. And Michael,
I have to. I'm a comedian.
I know you have to, but at the same time, I want to give you guys a credit because of in Thanksgiving and Christmas, a lot of these homeless people, they come in here. They come in really cold and miserable.
Well, we know most of them. They all do open mics. They do do comedy shows with us.
No, but then you see them, they're walking out. I love to see them. That's the reason I always watch by the door to see them leaving. They're smiling their face. That's the something it is priceless. I don't think so too many people they can do except comedian be able to. And I wouldn't be able to do Thanksgiving and Christmas or any of those stuff for the kids without comedian. I couldn't do it. Honest to God, I couldn't do it.
You know, walking out smiling. What do you want to do now? You want to go home? I asked you not to bring up the home thing again.
Man? Why are you bringing up the house all the time? Every time.
You have to dig me.
Every time I'm happy, you got to bring up the house.
Anyway, let's change this. You have a brother, he does comedy.
My younger brother. But he had to take a little hiatus because
why?
Had a baby girl.
Oh.
And he right when the baby came out, he got laid off. Just like that. And it's like, you know, like if luck could have it. So he was trying to find work, odd jobs. I try and take him on the road with me sometimes, but he had to be with the kid, and then boom, got an amazing job. He just has to work nights, but he's working now. He's working nights, but good. He's got a phenomenal job now. He works for one of the bigger production companies out here.
Beautiful.
Post-production houses.
Beautiful.
And but you know, it's the comedy thing.
I'm not a big fan of his act. I got to tell you.
Yeah, I know.
You know, I mean, his early stuff, but he's gotten bitter.
But
he's very angry and hateful.
Did you ever the thing is, do you ever you do some of the joke, for example, you don't want to do it, do you give it to your brother or anybody like that?
No, but my brother has tagged a lot of my bits. My brother, like, hey, you know, we work together. I mean, because my brother's more of a writer and I'm more of a storyteller.
Yeah.
And it's different styles.
Yeah.
And my brother's really, I'm not just saying this. He's one of the best writers I ever met.
Really?
I mean, yeah, he's phenomenal. My brother comes up with some really great,
good
like his
concepts.
sports bit,
Yeah.
a bunch of stuff, man. Like he has a sports bit that I'm like, damn, I wish I thought of that. You know, that happens, but it's never. It's different. We're two different styles. We're the same, but we're different.
But you know, the look-wise, you are so much look the same.
Yeah. Well, when we're apart.
Yeah.
When we're together, you could tell.
Yeah. The time. No, the part you look.
Did I ever meet him?
You might have seen. You might have seen. He might have.
I don't know why you ignored me. I was wondering why it was so awkward when I hugged you.
I actually saw his brother. He was in open mic. I said, "You actually passed. You're regular here. What are you doing?"
Oh, you thought it was him? That's
yeah.
funny.
Yeah, like it'd be nice weekend if you can get him to host. That'll work. Start getting my brother in here.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
We do it. We do whatever because we have kids and everything. Why not?
No, he's really like I'm really proud of him though, man. Like the kid, it's again when you're talking about comics again, our life experience, most of us, our life experience is so strong. I mean, we're the blue collar, I think, of the entertainment business. Wouldn't you say? Or no?
Well,
on a whole,
No, I think you are a little bit disrespected entertainer in the business, but you are more giving and most caring and most.
But I mean, I'm saying it's same with blue collar communities. They're all like that. But the thing is, the work and the amount of how many years. I mean, because there are obviously actors are in class or in school, but they study and they go on. There's no like place for them, which I bet they wish there were.
Oh yeah, imagine being able to do 3 plays, 3 scenes a night. Mm-hmm. Drive across town, do a little Elizabethan theater, drive over here, do a little Neil Simon.
It's a great Elizabethan spot.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You got to wait in line for 8 hours.
Can you talk to the guy for me? Ye old English. But that's the advantage of being a comic.
That is a huge advantage.
We could have fuck up a set on one part of town and go over and reword it, and then all of a sudden make it that night. And don't you love when something happens in the news?
Dude, it's always...
You go right on. Like when Bobby Brown got his DUI, I went right on stage that night and did a bit about it. It's such a great feeling.
I had one. This guy just killed... He killed his wife that was like 90, and he was like 47, right? And she was like a Washington, D.C. socialite.
Did she have insurance?
You couldn't wait 2 years?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? You had to do it now. Like he married her and like... but you'll see something and it's just those knee-jerk reactions that you're like, all right, I get, maybe. And then that's the best thing about stand, especially when you get to the point where you could get the stage time. That's 95% of the battle of being a
course.
comedian is the stage time.
And the other,
it's not even the act; it's the getting on stage.
I gotta tell you, I've been around so many times. I told you Bob Hope's story. People, they come in because Dom is on, or you on, or somebody is on. They make it look so easy for everybody. And they do
It is easy for us. It's the rest of life that's tough.
No, but you make it so easy, and everybody walks out. Hey, Jamie, can I come in, tell a couple of jokes? No, it's not that easy.
Because
you
we're
cannot
only
do it.
talking, and it's so much simpler looking. You know, if you see somebody jump from the foul line and dunk and like windmill dunk over their head, you're going, wow, I can't do that. But if you see somebody talking, you think, geez, I was just that funny with my family.
Yeah.
It's simpler looking, you know.
Which is why comics get angry when people yell at, because especially it's like, look, this is our stage time. We got 15 minutes. We got 20 minutes. We're trying to work something out. The last thing we need is fucking Joe douchebag to try and cut in on that.
Or
I had
they
a guy
want to be.
give me the
They
finger
think
the
they
other
could be
night.
funny. I remember I told Dom this story about one time Bob Hope called me. It was on a Saturday night. He said, Jamie, I have this guy Marvin. He's worked with me, and we are in my house.
One time Bob Hope called me.
Well,
Funny sentence.
Mr. Bob,
That's great.
Mr. Bob Hope, Mr. I forgot.
One
to
time the Beatles called me
No,
up.
no,
All
Mr.
four of them, me.
I was on a conference call, and they were telling me to do a bit. They want. So go ahead. So Bob, I know that statement alone is phenomenal.
Yeah, no, Mr. Bob Hope called me. I mean, I should have some
You mean
Mr.
like the
And-
Bob Hope Airport, Bob Hope?
Yes. And he lived in Toluca Lake, and he said, this guy's in here. His dream is go to Laugh Factory to go on the stage to do some comedy. I said, Bob, it's tonight is Saturday night. We are sold out. He said, well, I'm coming. I couldn't say to Bob Hope, no. I said, yes,
tell you,
okay.
Jamie.
Yes, yeah, exactly. I'm coming over. And he comes about half an hour later. He comes in with the car. They're driving him, and he comes out. And Bob Hope, he always had that chocolate mints, and he gave me a couple of chocolate mints. I started eating them. And I remember Fraser was on the stage, I think. Fraser was on the stage emceeing. And I said, well, we have a friend of Bob Hope. He's coming in. And he said, well, what should I do? I said, just tell him he's a great friend of Bob Hope. He's going to do 5 minutes. And I went to the guy. I said, what's your name? He said, Marvin. He's an older guy. I said, have you been, he was about 40 years old. I said, have you done stand-up comedy? Have you gone? He said, oh, no, I make people laugh. I seen Bob Hope do. I could do what Bob Hope he does. I seen me, he does it. I could do it. I said, well, it's a different feeling.
Between golfing
you know,
and doing comedy.
No, it's a
Making
different.
funny little quips
Yeah.
after a bogey.
And he said, no, I could do it. I said, okay. And I did, at that point, I shut up. I said, okay. And I said, Fred, bring him up. And he went on, ladies and gentlemen, Marvin. And Marvin, I said, you ready? He started walking towards the stage. He slowed up, and he got on the stage. He held on to the mic really hard, and his mouth and his eyes like that. And I went to Bob. I said, Bob, this is part of his act. And Bob, he was eating his chocolate.
Where was Bob Hope sitting?
Bob Hope standing back there with me, back of the stage, back of the stage standing. And this guy is standing up, and this guy about 90 seconds. I said, Mr. Hope, he's going too long. He haven't said one word. He didn't say anything to me. And next thing I know, he had this tacky, like what do you call it, the golf pants he have.
Yeah.
And he started peeing in his pants. He started wetting his pants.
That was his closer, right?
Me and this guy was in here. He was Larry Wood.
Larry
you
Wood,
remember?
yeah.
Me
How
and
long ago was this?
that was about 10 years ago.
Wow.
10 years ago. Me and Larry Wood.
But when did Bob Hope die? It was recent, right?
Well, they used to bring him in anyway.
About
After he
4
died.
years, 5 years ago. He died. Anyway, me and Larry Wood, we came in here. We took him back there. And I told him, I said, Marvin, are you okay? What's going on? And he didn't say about it. He said, I'm ready to go on the stage. I said, Marvin, you were on the stage. And that's the story, is the people, they think it's easy to do.
Well, that's
It's
a little
not.
extreme, though.
That is extreme.
That's a little different than bombing.
But it was the hardest thing to see a person, everybody, because Bob Hope went on the stage.
Well, I mean, if Bob Hope says, look, you got to put this guy on.
I never refused Bob Hope or Bing Crosby. Maybe I'm old-fashioned. Whatever those guys want.
That's the cool part too, though, being part of that fraternity, like being a fraternity of a working nationally known comedian.
Yeah.
You know, that
It-
part.
it
I love.
is.
Even
But-
though I'm not paying the bills, I'm just saying.
No,
Yes,
but
you are.
Every
you know,
once in a while, you got to look around and be like, you know, it's
The-
cool. I remember I met Rodney Dangerfield here. That was awesome.
I remember Bob Hope the last time he came in
Yeah.
the club. He sat in right here, and Jimmy Brogan was on the stage, and Bob Marley went on the stage, and Jimmy Brogan was on the stage, and Bob Hope, he kept on saying, because he was losing his ear, what did he say? And he would ask the guy middle of the act.
That's we like that.
And the poor guy, he got to explain it to him. And Jimmy Brogan, he tried to explain it again, what was the joke. And I felt terrible. That's the last time he came in here.
The last time I saw Bob Hope.
He came to the club. It was a
I
legendary.
gotta-
You remember one time Charlie Chaplin came into the
Yeah,
Comedy
yeah.
Store.
W.C. Fields.
W.C. Fields came in. It was his boss.
That fucking Mae West was a killer, wasn't she?
That girl, hey,
Oh.
very good looking in person.
The last
Better looking in person
When
than
I
in picture.
when I knew we had you on the show, the last person I ever expected we'd be talking about is Bob Hope. Well, we'll
But,
get
you know,
Bret
it's the
Ernst, and we'll
story
figure
comes
sooner or
in.
later we're gonna get into Bob Hope.
No, but this is something is make you guys make the comedy so easy. Everybody in the
No,
world, they
well,
think they can
that's
do
because-
it.
And they
we
think they
kill.
Can box. Most guys think they can box or do comedy. Like they'll watch like that and they think I could do this. Worst hecklers though, in my opinion, women, young girls are the worst. Let me
Yeah.
ask you guys this question. We'll get out. Do you notice or do you feel? I mean, I've only been doing it 15 years. Okay. Is it me or the crowd's getting less intelligent and rowdier? Like
Yeah.
more disrespectful.
No, I think it's less informed.
I've noticed in my 15 years, maybe because I'm getting older, I don't know.
No,
I mean,
I
the
think
reference,
that-
I just find them to be a little bit more just rude, like, and not really.
I think the reality shows have something to do with it.
And I
lack
think-
of reading.
I think it's another part of it. It is the audience, they come in, they feel like entitlement. They have some kind of entitlement.
That's what I mean. Like,
you know,
it's something there where
Yeah.
it's not a positive. We're here to have fun.
no,
It's like
make me
when's
laugh.
it my turn? And
yeah.
I want, make me laugh.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's I've seen that a little bit change because before the audience would come in 32 years ago, they used to come in, they enjoyed everything
We have some
in
great
here.
crowds in here, though. Come on.
Oh, we still have a
Oh,
great
no.
crowd.
And
We
and
still
there
have-
are cities, like I was just in Chicago, and the people there are just fucking amazing, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, Chicago, yeah.
Amazing.
He's going next week. He's going to Chicago next week.
Amazing. And I like Nashville. That's a great. I mean, there's so many cities that are that you do. It's a different breed. I mean,
Isn't it weird how you can hit somewhere like Knoxville was really good for me. I have no idea why. I have a tough time in Nashville
yeah,
drawing.
but
and
Knoxville.
I sold out in Knoxville. Knoxville. All I know about Knoxville is University of Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
No, it is. It's very regional. Like there's areas that you'll go in and you're like, holy
Yeah.
shit. There's ones you would expect. You know, like Jersey, South Florida's good.
Right.
But like Chicago, then I'll go somewhere like I was in Minnesota and I'm like, there's nobody's here.
Yeah.
Like, you know, then you're like, Jesus. And last week I sold out on one nighter.
Right.
450 seats. And now I can't even get 12 in on a Thursday.
I know. It's
It is.
bizarre.
It's very weird that way, you know.
But where is Knoxville? What part of the
It's, Eastern Tennessee.
Eastern Tennessee?
Yeah.
I don't
You should
know.
open a club there.
Yeah.
You
No.
can open it, do the first night.
Yeah,
It'll sell out.
If he does good, I'm thinking about it. That's all. That's the reason I ask.
You've done enough for comedy. Please relax.
John Heffron, tough guy.
Is he?
John Heffron's a tough guy.
Oh man! One night we're in Boston. This is when he was still drinking. And he went to get in a fight in a bar, and I don't even know John that well. I go, John, we don't get in a fight. I said, then if you get in a fight, then I got to fight. I don't want to fight. It's like, no, you know. They finally calmed down. Go, I'm sorry. I said, what are you, crazy?
He's a martial artist. That's why I said that. I
Is
don't
he?
know if he's got a hot temper. Every time he's been
So
calm.
you're still thinking about that question?
Yeah, I was just
Let
thinking.
me ask you this: you think you could beat Sebastian?
Sebastian up?
Yeah.
No, can't happen.
No.
Sebastian is
He's
martial
tougher
art
than
too.
you. Sebastian?
Yeah.
He's martial art.
No. Sebastian Maniscalco? Yeah.
What? He could beat you in a fight?
You didn't know that?
Get the
Sebastian?
fuck out of here!
No.
I think I could beat Frazier.
I don't think he could beat Frazier.
Maybe not. All right.
Frazier.
Give me somebody I could beat.
Dean Darray.
Why don't you?
I couldn't beat Dean.
Yeah, you
He's
could.
way too heavy for me.
Oh, I know. He have
Gigantic.
He have too many tattoos.
He does. He looks good though with the sleeves. That's gotta hurt, no? Oh, you'll see him. Are you guys gonna edit this? I
Yeah,
hope it's
yeah.
been like 2 hours.
Yeah, but
No, it's been a long time.
It's about an hour.
You were great,
15
man.
minutes.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me.
Thanks for being on.
you.
I'm glad
I'm sure you said that to Hots too.
Tell to everybody.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys said that to everyone.
No, why do you get to take away from a compliment? You know what I love about you is you have a passion for things. So even when you're totally off base, you're committed to it. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, guys.